It didn't start at the beginning, but this is our new theme music that we have for the show. Hey, I'm Bradley J, and she is Shayla. And today we're going to talk about coming up on the show joint bank accounts because you are married.
Yeah.
And I saw this come up, and I know I have some friends of mine that do like separate and together and things like that, but I want to get your take on it. But let's start the show off on a topic that you love, which is Friends, the TV show.
Yeah. That's a great TV show.
Yes, it is. But I don't know if you heard the news or not. I do. I love entertainment news. And I thought I'd bring this up and just ask you real quick. Jennifer Aniston and David Schwimmer may star in a rom-com together. So my question to you is, will this kind of ruin, like, because you know them as Ross and Rachel, but if they do a movie, a rom-com together, does that kind of ruin it for you? Or are you like, yeah, I want to see this?
No, I'm 100% for it. I can
Okay.
see when you would say that, like it would kind of ruin your image of like Ross and Rachel. And
Yeah.
I think that's kind of why they decided not to like do a reboot of Friends is because they liked the image that they put in people's heads when the
Right.
show ended, so they didn't want to like ruin any of that. So I can see that, but no, I'd be super excited about that. They have
All right.
great chemistry.
All right, so it could happen. Who knows? I don't know the name or any other details about that or
Well,
not. But
thanks for telling me. I didn't know that. That's
yeah,
awesome.
I thought you'd like that. Before we get to our bank account thing, though, I do have a couple news stories I want to touch on real quickly. I don't know if you heard about this new parenting trend, but kids are pooping outside.
What? Like a dog?
Kind of. I'll read you the story. This is a thing that parents are doing. I don't know if they do it in the state of Kansas. This might be somewhere else that it's started and it may catch on here, but kids are pooping outside on portable toilets at parks and playgrounds. Now, the reason they're doing this, parents are bringing them everywhere, these porta potties for kids, okay? Because they don't want to make their kids use public restrooms. So my question to you is, if you had a kid right now, would you do this for your kid, and or would you let them go to a public restroom?
Wow. Never thought I'd be asked that question. I'd let him use a public restroom. I mean,
Yeah,
that's what I always do, and I'm fine. He
well,
turned out fine. Is it
um,
because of the germs in the public restrooms? Is that why?
they don't say, but they say that parents just they don't want to take their kids into a public restroom, so they just bring the pot of porties for the kids and they put it by a tree under the shade. They let their kid poop outside. My question is like, how do you clean your kid and there's no water around? Are you bringing bottles of water? Like this is
Oh,
so I don't know, kind of disgusting,
it
really.
is, yeah. I
I,
feel like that's not very sanitary.
it's I don't think so either. But yeah, it's a new parenting trend letting your kids poop outside under a tree in a little kid porta potty, which is kind of weird. Yeah,
Wait,
just weird.
what does that teach them? So then, like, obviously, at what age do they have to stop? Because, hey, you're kind of a big kid or you're an adult now. You don't do this anymore. So, it's like potty training, but then at some point, they're not going to do that into adulthood, are they?
I hope not. I brought that up because someday you're going to have kids, and hopefully, I won't see a TikTok of your kids pooping under a tree in a tiny kid porta potty. I just hope I don't see that. Just something I don't want to see. Okay,
You
you know what I'm
won't see that. Don't worry.
right. So another news story I thought you needed to know, and people is Netflix getting ready to crack down on password sharing, and it's gonna. It,
No.
yeah. Do you share your password for Netflix? You
Yeah.
do, don't you? I knew it. I
Yeah.
knew
I'll
you
be
did.
fine. I'll be fine. It's my account, but my family members, specifically my sister and my mother, will be very upset if this happens.
Okay, no, it's happening. It's not if, it's
It
happening.
is
Who is it?
happening, but
Yes,
when?
is it Mariah who you share your Netflix password
No,
with?
no, it's Kylie.
Of course it is. The youngest one? No.
The
Yeah, the youngest
youngest.
one.
The very youngest. Yeah,
Kylie,
always mooching off of people, I'm telling you.
Kylie, if you're watching this, get your own Netflix account. Do it. Be an adult. Start adulting. I can't believe your mother would let this go on. I can't believe it.
My mother does it too. She she watches
Shayla's mom.
Netflix too.
Shayla's mom, get your own account. Do it. Here's the thing, though. They're going to start cracking down. It doesn't say when in the story, but if you're a premium subscriber, you can add up to 2 out of household users, but it'll cost you $7.99. So you can still do it, but
Wow.
they're going to tack on a charge. Standard subscribers can only add 1. So you can still, Shayla, if you want to pay $16, let your mom and your younger sister be on your
Wait, so
account.
just like a regular subscriber gets 1?
1. So
So
you're
I'd
going to have to
have
choose.
to choose between my mom and my sister. Well,
Who
I'm
would you
gonna have to
choose?
choose my mom because she gave birth to me. That sounds so awful if I was like, "Hey, thanks for giving me life, but you can't have my Netflix." No,
So you would give it to your sister Kylie, or would you give it to your
I
mom?
give it to my mom.
But so you're like Kylie, you're out. So
So, Kylie, sorry, you got a job, you can pay for your own Netflix. It's
Kylie,
time.
adulthood girl, you're in it now. Okay, with Memorial Day weekend coming up, I got a couple questions to ask you before we get to our main topic of is it better for your marriage to have a joint bank account or a separate bank account? So I'm going to ask you, since Memorial Day weekend is coming up, do you want to know the ingredients in a hot dog? Because the hot dogs are eating a lot this weekend, and so when it comes to do you eat hot dogs, and do you want to know what they're made of, or do you already know what they're made of, and you're like, I don't care, I'm eating it anyway.
I do not want to know what they're made of because I love hot dogs, but I think I have an idea of what they're made out of. It's just a bunch of different stuff, isn't it?
That's
Like
what they say.
that doesn't make sense. So, no, don't tell me because I like hot dogs and I don't want you
Okay,
to ruin it.
my other question about Memorial Day, are you okay wearing your swimsuit in front of people? Like, do you go to a public pool and like a hotel pool? Not out the lake because those are usually your friends and family you're hanging out with. But when it comes to somewhere public, are you okay to go out just in your bathing suit and let people see you? It's a big deal.
What do you mean in public? So you're saying like not at the beach or at the pool,
No, well, at the pool,
like elsewhere?
like a public pool or a hotel pool.
No, I'm fine with being in my bathing suit. What I feel uncomfortable about is like, for instance, at a hotel, going from the hotel room to the pool. I will not like walk through the halls in my swimsuit like I know a lot of people do. Like
Right.
I'll put on a cover up because I just feel weird about it.
See, being a guy, I shouldn't feel weird about it, but I just feel like because I'm in my trunks and my, flip flops or just tennis shoes or whatever, and just walking. But I just feel weird walking in my bathing suit in a hotel room, which I shouldn't because it's just like wearing shorts for me. But for you, and for women, I understand it, but I don't know why I feel weird. But I always feel like everyone's looking at me and going like, "Oh, look at that weirdo! God, he's got a stupid bathing suit on. Like, who wears that color?" And I'm like,
Well,
"Oh,
what if someone is coming into the hotel, like, on a business trip or something, and they're dressed really nice, and then you just feel, like, really exposed, like, walking past them? That's weird.
it's a hotel room. We're both weird. What can I say? Have you ever went to the bathroom in a pool or ocean or the lake?
Yeah.
Okay. I think like 99% of us have.
Everyone has. You
Yeah,
have, haven't you?
yes, I have. I
Oh,
have.
yeah.
I shouldn't, but I have. And the last question before we get to our main topic, best alcoholic drink to enjoy at the beach for you is what?
I have 2. Can I give 2?
You can give two.
Piña coladas and strawberry daiquiris.
Nice choice. Margarita for me. I would go with the margarita or a beer, like a good lake beer, which is kind of like Corona or like I drink Miller Lite. So,
Mhm.
best alcoholic drinks on the beach. You can always email us and tell us your favorite alcoholic beach that you have on the beach. And our email address is dun, 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 right there. Email the
Fancy.
show at Bradley J at 94country.com. Okay. I think this is going to be a pretty good topic. Is it better for your marriage to have joint bank accounts or separate? The thing is that people that watch our show, they know that you and Gustavo, I think, had a long courting session. I don't know what you want to call it. Like you guys were far apart. You were never together for a huge amount of time until you got married. And
Yeah.
so you had, I'm just going to guess that you had separate bank accounts at that time.
Mhm.
So once you got married, And you've been in it for a year now, right?
Yes.
Happy anniversary, by the way.
Thank you.
I didn't want to post on Facebook because I knew we'd be doing this and I could say it to you in person. If I can do things in person, I do things in person.
I've put up with
And
him for a full year, that guy that is in his underwear all the time. A full
yeah.
year. Yeah.
According to a new study out of Indiana University, one secret to a longer, happier relationship may be having a joint bank account. So, do you and Gustavo have a joint banking account, or are you guys separate still?
No, we have a joint banking account now that we're
So,
married.
whose decision was it to join it together?
Like both of ours, pretty much. So, this is actually a great topic because for the longest time, I did not realize that married couples would have their own bank accounts, like joint bank accounts. And I guess that's just because I grew up and my parents, they had a joint bank account. They didn't have separate ones. And so I didn't realize that some married couples did have separate bank accounts. So that's interesting. And I want to know why. I want to know like if you were getting married, Bradley J, would you join your bank account with your future wife or would you keep them separate?
Yeah, I would. Well, I would go in and be like, "Do you want?" Because my mom and dad. I'll just say, let me preface it with this: my mom and dad had, because they ran a cafe, and my dad kept the tips that he got waiting tables, and that was his money. Mom called it play money. That was his money that he could do with whatever he wanted.
Mm,
Then my mom she got money from the cafe, and that was her money that she could do whatever she wanted with. And they never really knew the amount each other had. Because
mhm,
when my dad passed away in 2015, I went home and my mom knew that my dad had a lot of cash somewhere, but she couldn't find it. She looked everywhere. She even looked at like in his clothes, in his pockets, and she was like, "I've already looked in his clothes." And I said, "Well, let me just look again." You could have missed a spot. Looked in. My dad had $800 in a suit jacket in a thing in there. She's like, "Where'd you find that?" She goes, "I looked in there," and I was like, "Well, there it is." But I think they had, because when I took it out, of course, I was like, "Is this what you're looking for? Because if not, I'm just going to keep it." And she's like, "Give me
yeah.
that." And I think they had like a checking. Of course, they had the cafe checking account that paid for everything that they needed
Yeah.
there. And I think they had a checking account that my dad did, and he paid the bills and stuff. So I grew up with knowing that my parents had play money of
Yeah.
their own to do it. So if I got married, like I would just talk to her. I'd be like, listen, you could put the money that your play money in your account, do what you want with it. I can have one, or I would be up for just like a joint account. I think a joint account would be better because I think you could keep track of your money better, like together,
Mhm.
like where the bills, like, okay, here are the bills, here's what we need to do. And then we could both see, both have to get into the online account and then you could look at it. But I would be up for, either one. But maybe on the separate account, I would be like, well, it's my account. You don't need to know how much money I have in that. And the
I
money that
kinda like the idea of having play money.
I know, because then you could do whatever. You wouldn't have to worry about. You wouldn't ask somebody because when you're single, you never have to ask anybody
Yeah.
if you can spend money. When I go to concerts, like I bought like the Janet Jackson concert I went to. I bought a hat, I bought a hoodie, and I bought a shirt. I didn't have to ask anybody. Like I spent hundreds of dollars on this stuff. I didn't have to like call up or worry about, oh, it's going to come out of the checking account. I'm going to have to explain to her what I bought, or I'm going to have to
Yeah.
tell her before I go. I don't have to worry about any of that stuff being single. So I mean, like, but if you're with somebody, then you have to respect them and have consideration and be like, hey, and then you get into the whole discussion about, well, you spent $200 on a concert, so I'm going to spend $200 on, I get to spend $200 too.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense. I can totally see myself getting some play money. That makes sense. I kinda
But
like
where would you get your play money from? Like, would you take like 10% out of like your pay? You're like, hey, listen, my play money, I'm going to take 10% out of my paycheck, and that's going to go in my separate account, and you do the same. But then would you have to know each other's like how much money you make?
No, I think you keep that separate.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you and
Yeah,
Gustavo
maybe
don't.
like 10%, maybe like 10% out of my paycheck. I kinda like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
And then
can
you have,
order so many things from Amazon and he wouldn't say anything. Ha!
well, but so does Gustavo know how much money you make?
Yes, he does.
So he would. So then, when he finally gets to the doctor, goes through everything that he's going to, and he's a doctor, you'll want to know how much money
His
he makes.
10% would be so much more than
I,
mine. That's
that,
not fair.
but because you can't take money out of his because it's not your
I
money. He's making
know.
the money, and you're making your money. So, but you could make it when you go. Okay, we'll take 10% of our out of our paychecks
Yeah.
for play money, but then you have to. Since you make more money, Gustavo, you have to put 10% in our retirement. Like you have to take, even though they're taking it out of 401k. After that, you have to take a 10% and put it in like a savings account for
Yeah.
money for if something comes up, if we need house repairs or a new car or whatever. Like, so if you could work that deal with him,
Yeah.
I mean, because you got to start worrying about other things when it comes to money in the future and looking down the line and
Adulting and
stuff.
blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I know. But no, we're pretty good, I feel like, with our money, like with our joint account. I guess whenever we, go out and use play money, it's like from our joint account and we're always together. So I feel like we're not like separating and going, doing things without each other. We're kind of always spending money together, seems like.
Well, we got a comment from our friend Lindsay Gutierrez who says, Joe and I have separate accounts. LOL. We've talked about joining them though. Haha. So what would you tell your friend Lindsay to
Oh,
do?
do what?
What would you tell your friend Lindsay to do? Like keep the separate accounts or do the joint account?
Oh, I would maybe do both.
You can't do both.
Yes, you can.
What?
Keep,
How?
keep one as play money, like you said.
Yeah, but you can't
So,
have both.
okay,
You
so
either have
now
to have
I
you
want
either
to
have to have
know.
joint accounts or separate accounts. You can't have both.
I mean, whatever works for them. I think everyone has like their own way of doing things. So
That's
if
that's
separate
a
accounts works for them. So my question is, Lindsay, they must like have it figured out. Like who pays for like certain bills? Like
yeah.
what comes out of whose paycheck,
Yeah.
Because
I'm
you're
pretty
both
sure
using the lights, you're both using, the utilities and stuff in the house. So who pays for groceries?
I'm guessing Joe pays for the mortgage because that's probably the most money. That's probably
Mhm.
their biggest bill, I would think. I don't know. Maybe they don't even have a mortgage. I don't know.
Yeah.
Lindsay said, I like the suggestions. Oh, we have another comment from a person who that I think you love very much, Mariah Conway. She said, joint for bills and both have a separate for fun money. Have you never discussed this with your sister, Mariah?
Oh, she has fun money? So what does she spend fun money on? I wanna know. And can you spend some on me?
Yeah, because now when you go out for drinks or eat, you can be like, "Hey,
On
Mariah,
Mariah's fun money account.
hey, Mariah, why don't you dip into that fun money and
Charge
pay for
it.
this?" Man, that now you have to ask how much she has in her account. You'll be like, "What? How much money you got in that fun money account, Mariah? What's going on
Hmm.
there? How much money
Yeah.
you making, girl? How come you're not buying mom Christmas presents and I'm paying you?"
Yeah. Why
It
am
is
I in charge?
it is interesting though because because when you come together, everything is. I've never been married, but from what I've heard from my friends, that everything is like it's all yours combined. Except now, do
Mhm.
you agree? Like, so if I got married, all the money I have like before is that all mine, and we just start over from zero?
Mm. I mean, I guess it depends on what kind of marriage you get into because you can sign up for like, a prenuptial marriage or not. So,
Yeah.
but I mean, if you just do the real deal, whatever you had before is hers too.
That's how I've worked hard for what
Yeah,
I have,
then
and
get
I'm
a
like,
prenup.
yeah. Well, they say, love conquers all. So if I find someone, if I find a woman who I love, maybe I'll just be like, what's mine is yours. And I guess I have nothing now because I
So
love you.
Gustavo and I actually have a prenup for our marriage, and it's because when we got married in Brazil, like signed the paperwork and everything, that is their most common like marriage document is a prenuptial agreement. So
Oh,
it meant, yeah, which here it's different. It's usually, you get married and what's mine
yeah.
is yours and whatever you think you had is mine and but no, this was like their main one that they do and we were like, okay, yeah, sure. That works. It's fine. So, but I
They
mean,
were
we
just
didn't have anything really at the time anyway, so it's like, You ain't missing out on anything. It's fine.
You're actually a Brazilian citizen, and you gave away your U.S. citizenship. They were just throwing papers at you, and you're like, "Yeah, sign it." Yeah,
Don't sign anything.
everything goes to the country of Brazil. I've changed my name. I'm not a U.S. citizen anymore. I'm just give me papers to sign. I just want to sign my life away to Brazil. I'm out.
Yeah.
Like
So now, like around the house and stuff, we'll make jokes and we'll be like, "Oh, that's legally mine." And we're like, "No, it's not. I had that before you. That's mine. If we get divorced, it goes back to me."
All right. So you guys have a joint account.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still, I mean, I'm pretty easygoing, really. I'd kind of, whatever. If I ever meet the one, we'll see. But to wrap this up, Lindsay, her last comment, we have it set up where we split it all and take turns paying for groceries and eating out. All the discussion for tomorrow. I love Mariah Conway. We don't need you professing your love for people on our show, Lindsay. That's for us to do. We love Mariah and we kind of like you. Okay. No, we love Lindsay. We love her to death. All right.
Yeah.
So there you go. And if you have any comments, you can always join our show live and let us know, or you can email us. Our email is right there, bradleyj at 94country.com. Shayla's got to go because she has, she plans something
Prior
for security.
commitments.
Yeah. Yeah, prior commitment. So when we wrap this up, 20 minutes, we're a minute over. But thanks for joining us. Don't forget, you can watch it on YouTube as well. 94 Country does have a YouTube page, just 94 Country. You can check that out, and you can see other episodes of our show. And Wednesdays, 6 o'clock, us two Yahoos hook up, and we just talk about pretty much.
We hook up. I don't know if I say it like that.
Well,
don't get people confused.
We don't. Did I say hook up? I didn't mean to.
Oh, Yahoos
we hook up online through this.
Okay. I don't know if that's much better.
Man,
just end it. Just end it now.
All right, that wraps up the show. See you later, Shayla.